Hello, bonjour. So welcome. We'll get started today in a really relaxed position. So if you have yoga blocks, you can put them to good use. If you don't, that's fine as well. We'll place one yoga block in between the shoulder blades on its lowest height, and then a second one can go at the back of your head. And there's no one way to do it, but my personal preference is having the head supported a little bit higher than the heart. So it'll look something like this. You can bend your knees to come down onto your forearms. Little engagement between the shoulder blades to open the chest, and then lay down so the block is just between the shoulder blades but below the neck, and the second block supports the back of the head. If you don't have yoga blocks, that's fine. What you could do is simply lay down onto the floor. And for some of us, even laying down on the ground like this will be more than our spines are used to. So take a few moments to get comfortable, whether you're on the floor or on the block. Both ways are great. And then feel free to bring the soles of the feet together, letting your knees rest out to the sides. So there may be a bit of stretch along the inner legs, and you can play with having the feet closer to your pelvis or further away. See what feels good. And then connect in with your breath, starting to breathe deep through the nose. And feel free to contract your abs a little bit as you exhale. So that's going to help you empty the lungs, and it's going to help you create more of a full inhalation. Now on your next inhale, lift your arms over the head and towards the back of the mat. Then as you exhale, reverse the movement, slowly bringing your hands down next to your hips. Again, inhale, lift the arms and reach back. Slow the movement to help resist gravity. And then exhale, reversing the movement again, arms at sides. And then keep on exploring that. If you're on the yoga blocks, you have more options with what you do with your arms. And so one of my personal favorites starts the same way, reaching back on the inhale with straight arms. And then as you exhale, explore bending the elbows out to the sides like a W shape. This works best on a yoga block. Inhale, slowly reach straight back. And then exhale, drawing the elbows in by your sides. So whichever variation you're in, continue moving with your breath. Try to slow your breath down. Breathing deep through the nose. And the key with the breathing is actually constricting the back of the throat, kind of like a whisper. And so that when we do breathe through the nose, it's not like we're sniffling. It's not like that at all. It's more like there's a constriction in the throat that sounds something like this. So that little bit of tension in the throat is helping us slow the breath down. So only a little bit of air comes in moment to moment, allowing for a long, slow breath. Next time you reach the arms back, pause, and we'll hold the position for 5 breaths. So try to hover your arms a little bit off the ground as you reach overhead. That way you're resisting gravity and creating a little bit of strength to help support that full overhead range of motion, that shoulder flexibility. A few more deep, slow breaths. And now to get out of it. So you can support your head with one hand for those of you on the blocks. Do a little abdominal crunch, slide the blocks off to the side, and then we'll all meet laying on our backs again. Hug your knees into your chest, wrap the arms around your legs, and gently rock side to side. Massage your spine into the floor if that. And then squeeze your right knee into your shoulder and straighten the left leg onto the mat. And we'll take a few breaths there. You can make some circles in your right hip. Try to keep that left leg strong on the ground. And then we'll switch. Left knee to shoulder, give it a big squeeze, and straighten the right leg onto the ground. Make some movements in that left hip. And then come back to center, crossing the ankles. Engage the core, and gently rock forward and back along the length of the spine. And then come all the way up, and bring your legs into a comfortable cross position, simple cross legs. Rest your hands over your knees. And we'll make some circles with the spine. So you can lean over one knee and then the other. Lean back, rounding the spine, and then come forwards over one knee and the other. And then just continue moving at your own pace. And change directions, going in the other direction. And you can press off your opposite hand, leaning away from it. Inviting a stretch through the sides of the spine and the hip. And then coming back to an upright position, bring the hands about half a foot behind you. You could have the hands aiming out to the sides or aiming towards your knees. Both ways are great. Take the feet a little bit wider than hip width. Roll your shoulders up and back a few times. Try to get a big lift of the chest. Shoulder blades drawing closer together as the chest comes up. And then windshield wiper the legs side to side, taking the knees in one direction and then the other. And you might feel a nice stretch in the hips or spine. If you're quite tight in the glutes, which many of us are, you might feel a nice massage as the hip rolls against the ground. All right, now I'll move into one of my favorite hip stretches in two phases. So phase one, you can take your right foot into your hand and gently rock the hip side to side. This is called the Cradle rock stretch. If you're a bit looser, you can take that foot into your left elbow crease. And then try flexing the toes towards the shin so the ankle is stable. And this forces the mobility to go into the hip joint instead of into the ankle. So let's keep on exploring. All right, now for the fun part, I'll give you a better viewing angle. Okay, so we're going to keep that foot in the elbow crease or the hand, and then take your right forearm to the floor. It's going to force you to lean over a really tight part of your hip. Oof, so you can massage it into the floor, and then kind of rock side to side on the sweet spot. Oof. There is also the option to push into the hand and lift the elbow, bending and straightening to help roll the right hip into the ground. So it's still cradle rock, but the added massage against the floor. And try bringing your forearm to the floor. Find a sweet spot. See if you can find a knot and then sink into it, pausing for 5 breaths. You might find it nice to make some smaller movements, rolling over that knot. And then pushing off your hand, slowly come on up. And then we'll switch legs, taking your left foot into your right hand or your right elbow crease. Flex toes to shin and cradle rock that left leg. Take your time to explore the full depth of your range of motion, bringing the leg way out to the right and then out to the left. And what's great about a movement like this is instead of just holding a yoga pose, this is like dynamic movement that allows you to explore what's going on at the different ranges of motion in the hip joint. All right, so let's come on to the left hand now. Take the hand behind you and then slowly come onto the forearm. Ooh. Oh. And this is supposed to be uncomfortable. So you can explore rolling into that left hip, left buttock, massaging. Maybe it's staying on the forearm, maybe it's lifting and lowering the forearm. Oof, you can play around. See where your knots are. Really helpful to roll these tissues out before doing yoga poses. The rolling tells the nervous system to let go of excessive tension that it's holding on to in the muscles. And the muscles let go and they allow us to explore more free range of motion. So roll and then move. Oh. All right, and maybe you find a sweet spot and you find stillness as you lean into that sweet spot for 5 breaths. Maybe you make smaller movements and hang out. Keep breathing through your nose. And then very slowly come on up. And then release the pose. We'll bring the hands forward to table position, knees below the hips. If you need to fold your mat over for extra padding, you can take the middle of the mat and fold it over. It can also be nice to grab a pillow or a blanket, anything to put underneath your knee for more comfort. So both knees on the ground. Place your hands on the floor underneath your shoulders. And then as you push into your hands, spread the shoulder blades apart. And then slowly relax down, bringing the shoulder blades closer. Let's use an exhale to press through. Spreading shoulder blades. Inhale, relax the effort. Try to keep the arms straight as the heart comes down. And exhale, press through. And then continue at your own pace. If you'd like to go faster, feel free. Get a feel for moving the shoulder blades, gliding them along the back of the rib cage. Good. And then we'll spread the shoulder blades and take the hands a little bit further forward, fingers spreading wide. As you inhale, come forward, shoulders over the wrists. And as you exhale, use the core to help support the lower back as you sit towards the feet. Inhale, come forward, shoulders over wrists. And then exhale, drawing the hips back. A few more at your own pace, explore. The further you go forward, the more it's challenging the range of motion in the wrist joint. And the key to stabilizing in that range is pushing even more through the upper palm knuckles. You can also imagine squeezing lemons, making lemonade, gripping with the fingertips. These actions are all going to help create more stability around the wrist. And last one. So try moving the knees even further back or take the hands further forward. Same thing. And then engaging the core, tailbone drops. Draw the hips back towards the feet. And breathe. You can keep your arms straight with the elbows off the floor, head off the floor as well. Or you might choose to make this a more relaxed pose with the forearms resting on the ground and the head down. Both ways are great. Either way, focus on your breathing. Feeling the breath. Long, slow breath through the nose. One more breath. Inhale, lift the head, come onto your hands. Exhale, lower the hips to the floor. And we'll lay onto the belly in Sphinx pose, taking the forearms to the floor so the elbows are a little bit past your shoulders. Take the elbows a little wider. You can take the feet wider than hip width. And then using your hands, inhale to pull back. Try to lift your chest up. Exhale, slowly relax down, shoulder blades closer together. Inhale, pull with the hands, lifting the chest. Exhale, relax the effort, shoulder blades closer. Do a few more at your own pace. And last one, pulling with the hands, inhale. And pause there. Bring your feet together and bend the knees about 90 degrees or so. And just imagine you were going to place your feet on your head. So we'll pull with the hands. Try to lift your knees off of the ground, squeezing the heels, activate the buttocks. And then try lifting the elbows off the ground, actively pulling the hands in towards your hips. 3 more breaths. Be where it feels good. And exhale, come all the way down. Hands-free mode. So bend your elbows just like cactus branches, thumbs up. With an inhale, lift your arms away from the ground, engaging the upper back, and then try lifting the knees up. And breathe. Hang out here. It helps to look down your nose and then explore lifting the chin a little bit as you gaze down the nose. And this works in any back bending pose. One more breath. Exhale down. And then move your whole torso to the right side a little. And press the left hand into the floor. So my left elbow is bent about 90 degrees, or you can even open it up a little more than that. Gently push into the left palm, and then roll over onto your left shoulder. Stretching into the left chest. The top leg foot can come behind you. And then either support yourself with the right hand pressing against the floor, or try reaching that right arm up and over. And the idea is to find a stretch through the chest and an engagement in the upper back, a contraction between the shoulder blades. And then back to center. So we'll bring the right arm out now. Elbow bent a little more than 90 degrees. You can open it up. And then shifting the body towards the left side, roll over onto your right shoulder, stretching the right chest to your own comfortable degree. You can use that other hand for support on the floor again, or reach the arm up and over. Keep turning the chest open. One more breath. And back to center. Very good. And now bring the hands by the low ribs, Cobra Pose. So we can lift the feet again to help engage the back of the thighs. Inhale, lift the shoulders, pull with the hands. Exhale from the core, push up to the knees, and we'll make our way into downward dog. So tucking the toes, try lifting the knees, push your hips back, and then play with walking the dog, pedaling the legs out. One leg straightens, the other leg bends. You can also wag the tail, moving the hips side to side. Take 3 more breaths there. Feel it out. Slow the breath. And then start to walk your hands to your feet towards the back of the mat. Bend your knees and hold on to opposite elbows, ragdoll. So let your torso sway side to side. Let the head and neck hang loose. Inviting a nice stretch into the back of the spine, the sides of the spine. Let it all hang loose. And then slowly walk your hands forward, back to a downward facing dog. And then we'll play around with moving between downward dog and plank. So spread your fingers wide, pushing into your hands. Now as you exhale, round your back, lift your heels, start to move into high plank. And as you inhale, push your hips back to downward dog. Exhale, plank pose, rounding the back, lifting the heels. And then inhale, downward dog. So if you find this uncomfortable on your wrist, you might need to bring your feet a little bit further back so that when you go into plank, you're not too far forward. You can also play with that idea of pushing through the upper palm and gripping with the fingertips. Hands can press towards each other to help engage the chest. A few more to go. Good, then we'll meet in downward dog, walking the feet a little closer to the hands again. As you inhale, lift your right leg up, bend the knee. And then exhale, knee towards the right shoulder, plant the foot down, high lunge position, feet about hip width. Inhale, lift the arms up, stay high on the left toes. As you exhale, bend the left knee to hover and draw back through the elbows. And repeat that a few more times. Inhale to come up. Exhale, bending elbows, left hip presses forward. Inhale up. Exhale, bending that left knee, hovering just above ground. Inhale up. Exhale, strong core. Inhale, come up, last one. Exhale, bend the back knee to hover. Inhale, high lunge. Warrior 2 on the exhale, turn your left foot to the side, right foot aiming straight ahead. And then open the arms up. As you inhale, straighten the legs, lift the arms. Exhale, warrior 2, reaching out, bending the knee. Inhale, lift the arms and ribs, reach up. And exhale, warrior 2. Repeat that a few more times. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, warrior 2. Last one. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse the warrior, reaching the right arm back. And then exhale, pass through warrior 2. Take your left hand to the floor, lunging on your left toes. You can stay there and reach the top arm up. Option 2, go onto the outer edges of both feet. So this will have the effect of loading up the left shoulder more like a side plank, as well as opening up the right hip. Going on the outer edges of both feet. 3 more breaths. 2. One more breath. Exhale, look down, take your hands to the floor, and then step back to plank on an inhale, toes rooting. Exhale, lower your knees, lower your hips, modified low plank. Inhale, Cobra Pose, pulling back. Exhale from the core, and we'll meet in downward facing dog again. So you may want to bring your hands a little closer to your feet, and you can play with walking it out, moving the hips side to side. Any little movements. On your next inhale, lift the left leg up, bend the knee. Exhale, step near the left hand, just outside of it, coming into a lunge with the feet hip width. Inhale, lift the heart, reach up slowly. And then exhale, bend the right knee to hover, move back through the elbows. Again, inhale, lift the arms, high lunge. Exhale, lowering the knee, hover or tap down. A few more to go. Focus on the contraction of the buttocks and the core of the body. So you might find a really nice stretch in the front of your right hip. Think of scissoring the legs, pressing the legs towards each other. Last one. Inhale, high lunge. Warrior two on the exhale. Right foot turns off to the side, left foot straight ahead. Bend your left knee, straighten the back leg. Inhale, straight legs, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, warrior two, bending the front knee. And repeat, inhale to reach up. Exhale, warrior two. A few more to go, moving with your breath. And then we'll meet in warrior two, bending the front knee, flipping the left palm. Inhale, reach back, reversing the warrior. Exhale, pass through warrior two, and take your right hand to the floor, lunging on your back toes. Left arm to the sky, you can stay there, or turn onto the outer edges of both feet, turning out from that left hip. And breathe. This is a side plank in disguise with an optional hip stretch. 3 more breaths. 2. 1 more breath. And exhale, look down, lower the hand. Inhale to plank pose. Exhale to low plank, lowering the knees. Inhale to Cobra pose. And exhale from the core. And we'll hang out in downward dog one more time. So simply hold the dog this time. Try to find stillness in the pose. Think of pushing out through the heel of the palm, sending the hips back. It can be very helpful to bend the knees. And this makes the focus more on getting the back straight. And try to find the relaxation within the effort. Soft jaw. Relax the forehead. And relax the eyes. With an inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, knee to right shoulder, keeping the right foot hovering this time. And repeat that twice more. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, round your back, knee to right shoulder. Inhale, lift the leg. And again, exhale, knee to shoulder. Inhale, lift the leg. And then step outside of the right hand on an exhale. If you have a yoga block, you may want to outside. And then we'll come up to high lunge on the next inhale. Exhale, warrior two position, turning your left foot out to the side. Feel free to take a longer distance between the feet. Inhale, reverse the warrior, right arm reaches back. Exhale, extended side angle, so you could take your right forearm to your thigh, Or you can bring the hand of the yoga block outside of your foot, pressing your leg out into your right arm in that case. A long line through the top arm, and then connect with the core to help bring the front ribs in. And this pose is extended side angle, in case I didn't already mention it. It's one of the best poses. So you're working that overhead range of motion in the shoulder. You're also working the glute strength of your front leg, potentially getting a stretch in the front of the left hip as you get a good feel for using the core and glutes together to bring the front ribs in. Nice. Then inhale up to Warrior Two. Exhale, pass through the lunge, taking the left hand down, right arm up again. So you can go on the outer edges of the feet or hold the lunge. If you like an extra challenge, try picking up the right foot, lifting that right knee to the sky. From there, maybe lowering the foot behind you. You can play around. This is a pretty tricky move. Otherwise, feel free to stay in that first position. It's all good. Next, exhale, come back and lower the right hand. So the right foot is on the floor just outside of that right hand. And then from there, you can slowly bring your left knee down. Maybe you're staying up on your hands, wiggle the left knee further back. Maybe you're going onto one or both of your forearms. And this one's called Gecko Lunge, so it can be a really nice stretch in the back of that right leg. If you'd like to put more of a stretch in your hip, you can flex your right toes to your shin and turn the hip out. And then you might find more of a stretch along the outside of that hip. So whichever variation you're in now, try picking up the left knee, press down through the toes, try to straighten that left leg. A few more breaths. Think of this as being a forearm plank if you're on the forearms, or a plank on the hands if you're using your hands. Shoulder blades are spreading, shoulders are drawing away from the ears. All right, let's bring that left knee to the floor again. You can fold the left edge of the mat over for padding or use a pillow or a blanket, whatever you have available. And then take your left hand to the floor. Turn the right foot out about 45 degrees, and we'll twist to the right side. So you might be pressing your hand against the inside of the right thigh, or you can try this variation. Lean forward a little bit, lift your left foot and shin off of the ground, and then relift the heart and reach back towards your foot. Opening your chest, maybe you catch the foot, maybe you simply reach into space. Few more breaths. And then letting go. We'll take the hands to the floor, unfold the mat, and step back to plank on an inhalation. Modified low plank, exhale, knees down, hips down. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale from the core, Downward Dog. And take a few moments to settle into your down dog. If you need to lower the knees at any point, that's fine. With an inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, knee to left shoulder, rounding your back. We'll repeat that 3 times total. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to left shoulder, strong core. Inhale, lift. Again, exhale, knee to shoulder. Inhale, lift. And with your exhale, step outside of that left hand. Pause there. You can take a yoga block outside of your foot if you have one. On your next inhale, come into high lunge. Exhale, Warrior Two, turning the right foot to the side, heels on roughly the same track. With an inhale, reverse the warrior, left arm up. Exhale, extended side angle, left forearm to thigh, right arm by the ear, or take that left hand down. Press your leg out into your arm towards the little toe side to help activate the glute muscles, and then reach long through the top arm. Back leg strong and straight. See if you can feel the core of the body engaging, drawing the front ribs in. This can also be a really nice stretch up the right side of the spine, from the belly all the way up through the ribs and the armpit. Try to breathe into the stretch. And then inhale, come all the way up, warrior two. Exhale, windmill the arms, passing through a lunge. Take the right hand down, left arm up. Great place to stay. Option two, go onto the outer edges of both feet. Option three from there, pick up the left foot, lifting the knee to the sky, or land the ball of the foot behind you. Whew. And breathe. And coming back to center, take your left hand down, step your left foot outside of that hand, and then we'll lower the right knee to the floor. You can fold the right edge of the mat over for padding. Try to slide your right knee back a little bit more as well. Move the knee back. And then you can either stay up on your hands or make your way down onto your forearms, inviting a stretch into the back of that left thigh for Gecko. If you're angling your hip out, you might feel more of a stretch on the outside of the thigh. So you can kind of play with where you need to feel the stretch. Doesn't have to be the same one side to the other. I went snowshoeing yesterday, so I'm really enjoying the stretch in the back of the leg. So I'm going to keep my left foot angled more forward, but if you want to get more into your hip, you might turn that foot out. Good, so we'll take 5 more breaths now. More of a forearm plank or a straight up plank on the hands. Tuck your right toes, straighten the back leg, lifting the knee. Then you might explore slowly going forward and back, reaching back through the heel, and then rooting down through the toes to come forward. 3 more breaths. And then we'll lower that right knee, right hand on the floor. Flex your left toes to your shin, and then turn out over the left heel. So we're angling the toes out, but the movement is coming from the thigh bone in the hip socket, from the hip joint. And then turning your left chest open, you can reach your arm back or press against the inner leg. If you're going to pick up that back shin, the trick is to lean forward first, lean towards the floor, lift the right shin and foot, and then lean back and reach towards that foot. If you catch it, you can pull it in towards you, stretching the front of the thigh. A few more breaths. And then exhale, let go, hands down. Inhale, step to plank. Exhale, low plank, knees down, hips down. Inhale, Cobra Pose. Exhale, from the core, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift your right leg up. Exhale, knee to the right shoulder, just like we did before. Inhale, lift the leg. This time, knee towards the nose on the exhale. So we're moving more through center. And then one more. Inhale. Knee towards the other arm, so knee to left shoulder on the exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step outside that hand, lunging. Feel free to bring a block forward in front of your right foot this time. With an inhale, lift the arms up. And with an exhale, warrior two, turning the left foot out. Inhale, reverse the warrior, reaching the right arm back. And then exhale, half moon. So it's kind of like warrior two. Lean forward. You can push your hand down into a yoga block and then go onto your left toes, lifting the heel. Next step, pick up the left foot, lift the leg higher, and then find a balancing point. It helps to keep looking down at your hand towards the floor, focusing the eyes on a single spot. If you find the balance is pretty good, you might actually take your hand off of the yoga block and reach a little closer to the floor, all the while lifting the heart away from the ground. All right, then we'll land that foot, warrior two stance. With an inhale, reverse the warrior, reaching the right arm back. And then exhale, pass through a lunge and bring your left knee all the way down. You can fold the edge of the mat over for extra padding. This next one is called Revolved side angle, so it's a spinal twist. To prepare for the pose, we'll take an inhale to bend the front knee, and then exhale, reverse the movement, forearms together. Inhale, bend the front knee to your own comfortable degree. Exhale, reverse the movement, forearms together. Again, inhale, bend the knee. And then exhale, reverse the movement. Help your left elbow outside of your right leg as much as you can, and then press the palms together in prayer, turning your right chest open. Good. Start to press down through the base of the left toes, and then look to your front foot. Find your balance. You can stay here or slowly lift the left knee, loading up the front leg. Oof, 5 breaths. It's going to challenge the balance first, and it's a stretch second. Opening the right chest. And then exhale, lower your left knee. Bring your hands to the floor, or your left hand, and then walk your right foot over towards the left side of the mat for Pigeon Pose. And then we'll take that right hand to the floor, slowly bring the shin down, and then lean onto the outside of the right thigh. This is just like one of the first poses we did, Cradle rock stretch, but a deeper variation of it. So you might have to have your back leg bent like me, and then you can explore folding over your right foot. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale, try folding more towards the knee. Inhale, lift the heart. And do a few more like that, exploring towards the foot or towards the knee. If you're a bit looser, you might straighten the left leg and gradually turn it inwards so the front of that left hip moves closer to the ground. Again, take a breath in. And then exhale, lead forward with the heart. This pose is called pigeon, so think of the proudest pigeon you've ever seen, puffing up the chest, even when folding forward. And breathe. Main thing is that your right knee is feeling happy. The stretch is intended into the right hip, right buttock. If either of these variations do not agree with you for any reason, you can bring your hands behind you and place your right ankle over your left thigh, intending the right thigh forward to the ground. You'll get similar benefits. Same idea, puffing up the chest as much as you can. All right, then releasing the pose, we'll take the legs back to downward facing dog, and you can walk it out there. If you'd like to do a plank and low plank followed by an up dog, go for it. Otherwise, hang out in down dog. So from down dog, take an inhale to lift your left leg, bend the knee. Exhale, knee to left shoulder, rounding the back. Inhale, lift again. Exhale, knee towards the nose, passing through the center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee towards the other shoulder. A little bit of a twist. Inhale, lift that leg. Exhale, step near the left hand, and you can place a yoga block in front of your left toes. High lunge on an inhale, reach the arms up. Warrior two on an exhale, turn the right foot to the side. This is a kind of shorter warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior, left arm up. Exhale, half moon, reach forwards. Start by lifting the heel of the back foot. Next phase, push your fingers down and fully lift the right leg. If that comes easily, you might hover your fingertips near the floor. Keep engaging with the core of the body. Try to engage the buttocks, the glute muscles. As they become more dominant in these poses, that actually helps other muscles in the hips relax more, like the TFL or the IT band. And then slowly land back in a warrior two stance. On your next inhale, reverse the warrior. And exhale, windmill the arms. Take that right knee down. And then prepare for low lunge. As you inhale, open the arms. As you exhale, reverse the bend of your front knee and press the forearms together. Repeat that a few times. Inhale to bend the front knee to your own comfortable degree. And then exhale, forearms together, reversing the bend of the knee. Inhale, bending that front knee, open up. Exhale, reverse, and then help your right arm outside of your leg. Hands to prayer position, turning the left chest open. Try to press that top hand down into the bottom hand. You can stay there looking at your front foot, or press down through the toes of the back foot to lift the knee. 5 more breaths. Try to contract the glutes as you spin the left chest open. One more breath. And exhale, look down, lower your knee. Walk the right foot over towards, the left foot over towards the right side of the mat. Bound to get mixed up sometimes. And then lower the left shin down and then lean onto the outside of the thighs. You could work the pose this way. Remember that other modification of left ankle over right thigh. And if you are super flexible, the right leg could be straightening and spinning in. These are all just different variations of the same pose, Pigeon Pose. Take an inhale to lift the heart. As you exhale, maybe you fold over the foot. And then re-lift on the inhale and try folding closer to the knee on the exhale. And do that a few times. You're exploring without any agenda, with an open mind, just to feel what there is to feel today. It doesn't have to be the same as the other side at all. It could be totally different. And then leading with the heart, find a sweet spot, and we'll hang out. You're welcome to close the eyes. And then with an inhale, slowly come on up. Exhale, press back to downward dog. Walk it out, take a few breaths. And then lifting your heels, slowly bring the knees down. Sit back onto your heels for a moment, coming into a toe squat. If this is too much, you could simply lift your hips up instead. Otherwise, sit back onto the heels, rooting the base of the toes down. And take a few breaths. Close the eyes, feel the breath. The sensations of stretching the feet and toes can be pretty intense. So try using your breath to mellow out. Lengthen the exhale. And then taking the hands forward, bring your legs out in front, and bring the soles of the feet together. See how close you can comfortably bring your heels towards the pelvis, closing or flexing the knee joint. And then option 1 is simply holding the ankles or even holding the feet. Inhale to lift the heart and stay there. Option 2, exhale to fold forward. If the flexibility of the hips allows, try to open the soles of the feet up like a book, using your thumbs to open up the feet. And we'll fold for 5 breaths. And then inhale to come on up. Bring your legs out to the sides. This is called the widespread angle. Some know it as the pancake. We'll approach it a different way, so you can find an upright spine. Bring your hands over your heart, and then lean back just a little bit. Engage your core to help support the lower back. And we'll take that right leg for a walk to the center. 1, 2, 3, and then away from the midline. 1, 2, and 3. Left leg. 1, 2, 3. Notice the core and leg working together. 2 and 3. Again, right leg. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Great exercise to do every day. 3. Left leg. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2. Oof. 3. And now just imagine doing that with both legs. So you're engaging the front of the thighs and engaging the psoas, the hip flexors. And then with an exhale, start to walk the hands forward, keeping the fronts of the thighs contracted. So the quadriceps contract. And you may find that you stop right here, feeling a stretch in the legs. That's great. You're already in the right position. If you're a bit looser, you might start to walk the hands forward even more. Think about aiming the belly towards the floor instead of the head. You can even use your hands to pull back and proudly lift the chest, just like a proud pigeon. And then engaging the front of the legs, push into your heels, and slowly roll all the way up. And then we'll bring the feet towards the front of the mat for one last forward fold, so you can have the legs closer together for this one. Feel free to take a strap around the feet. And then pulling back, take a breath in to lift the heart. Exhale, see how much you can straighten the legs comfortably, and then fold forward, allowing the spine to round forward. Relax the effort through the body, and invite a nice stretch through the back of the spine. And try closing your eyes. Relax the jaw and the face. Let the whole spine stretch out. And then engaging the glutes. Inhale to come on up. Exhale, slowly lay down, pointing the feet, tuck in your chin, coming down vertebra by vertebra. So the head and neck are the last to come down. And then relax onto your back, softening the shoulders away from the ears. Scoop your tailbone forward towards your feet. And then completely relax the body into Shavasana. Complete relaxation. Allow the eyes to close. And for the next 5 breaths or so, just watch your breath moment to moment. Focusing on only the breath. And 3 more to go. No more slow, conscious breath. And then completely let go of any control over the breath. Let go of all effort. And we'll take a few minutes to rest in silence. And I'll bring you out just before 1 o'clock. And so if you have more time, please take more time to rest. Thank you very much, everybody, for practicing. Hope this served you well. Hope you're feeling good. See you soon.